Well, he bataka make. But Jaden Chase, they have to make the fans them know what really are going on.
Nation, the UK ambassador to Jamaica, the outgoing British High Commissioner to Jamaica, Asif Hamad, has exposed Jamaican politicians and accused them of gun trafficking. I'm going to definitely leave the link in the description for that one. Now, for those who are new to the channel, yeah, man, I move settings and a Jaden Chase, another one that we're going to bring on another reason on the topic of current affairs. So if you're new to the channel, just a pass through, but to find the reason insightful, well, I'm suggesting to you that you click the subscribe icon, share the video, and drop a comment in the comment section. Now, let's get right into the reasoning. The nation, the official story is that the United Kingdom High Commissioner to Jamaica, Asif Hamad, has indicated that local politicians and political figures are still linked to gun running and other illegal activities in Jamaica. Now, Hamad told the Gleaner in a recent interview that when the UK and other countries investigated illicit firearm trafficking into Jamaica, local politicians turned up on their radar. He was quoted as saying, "When we run operations here with customs chasing firearms, or when we follow the money as we do." And he also added that his American colleagues had done the same, and also the Canadians. Now keep in mind, along with Europe and China, these are our biggest trading partners and some of the biggest superpowers in the world. Hamad said it was striking how often the trail leads to politicians or councillors. Nation, this is why crime and violence is what it is upon the island. And this is no secret for people residing in the inner city, areas that have suffered the most at the hands of criminals. Nation, describing the situation as sad, the UK diplomat said that he knew for a fact that it was something that the Prime Minister was determined to tackle. But as he stated, this situation is not confined to the Prime Minister and his team, but that both political parties needed to play a role. And that's one of the problems with issues upon the Jamaican island. The blame game. Each political party blames the other, hoping that their supporters will do the same. No, nation, the UK ambassador also pointed out something very strong, very serious. When asked why the UK has not imposed tough sanctions on politicians linked to wrongdoing, Hamad said that his country has taken steps to strengthen its resolve on sanctions, and that the UK Foreign Secretary had drafted a list of people, politicians, who they think fall into this category. Nation, our overseas trading partners have found out the Jamaican secret. People are always wonder, in a third world country, where the price of some of these weapons are sometimes the same price as a car. In a country, on an island, where jobs are still not adequate enough for us to employ all the residents residing on the island. In a country where the wealth is not distributed evenly amongst the population, but concentrated amongst the few. How are these things being imported and paid for? Recently we have heard the government talk about the high seas trade between Jamaicans and Haiti. While there has been confirmed reports of these situations, it cannot account for all of the weapons that we see on the island. And as the ambassador stated, whenever these things are shipped in and then follow the money trail, it always leads to politicians and councillors. What is strange enough is that this situation, this statement from the UK was never addressed by the government. And the aim was to shelve the story. We have all seen members of parliament scrambling as if they're unaware of all these things are being brought into the island. Of course, them know. But as stated, at the money trail them follow to find political leaders and political figures and their involvement. Them are do it for the money. with a clear disregard for the lives that these weapons impact. And then after it reached the boiling point, then yes, state of emergency, Zozo, this now work. And they know why. Them want to send military into these inner city communities instead of police and investigators to solve the crimes. Because I was of the mindset that that was the aim of the security forces. To get the weapons off the streets, solve the crimes, put perpetrators behind bars. But when you put a community under siege, law-abiding citizens, people who have to go to work, remember, through earned income, goods and services are paid for. When you put communities under sanction, multiple communities, and people can't go to earn a living, how will things be paid for? The government has found itself in an endless cycle, and this has taken place for decades now. This is not a 20th century problem. And we have heard the calls for people saying that the government, and not just the government in power, whenever you hear the government, don't just think of the party in power. Remember, it is quote unquote a democracy, and certain things have to be voted on, just like we see with the state of emergency. So when you think or hear of the word government, think of both political parties and both political leaders. Don't make your mind be swayed to feeling like, oh, when we say government or when you hear government and the tabloids, it only means the party in power. It means everybody who has been elected to office. All councillors, all MPs. Now we have heard the calls for the government for clearing them act. But think about it. If some of these individuals are the same individuals that have been around since the 80s, and we all remember what took place, and for those who don't, it's documented. You can see it right here on the platform. What took place in the 80s and the 80s election and the following years that preceded. The cache of weapons that were brought into the island to facilitate that showdown were never recovered. Who bring them in? Who was wealthy enough if you can bring in these things? Pay for these things? We don't know. And as I say, to date, nobody has claimed responsibility for what took place. It is just another situation that took place, another tragedy that the people have been asked to overlook. When the UK, the outgoing UK High Commissioner has stated that Europe, Canada, North America are all fully aware. This is definitely a serious nation. The individuals who have been elected, or some of the individuals who have been elected, have been exposed by the UK government for being involved in illicit and criminal activity. You're not getting worse than that. Worse with the fact that crime and violence is still one of the biggest issues taking place on the Jamaican island. And also in other parts of the Caribbean. We're not going to make it look like these things are only taking place on the Jamaican island. That take place right across the Caribbean diaspora, right across the world. First world countries have a higher crime rate than Caribbean countries. It is just that they're saying that to the population, to the size of the population, meaning the amount of individuals residing on the island. But then again, while faced with your own situation, your concern, unless you lend a helping hand, should never be the situation faced by others. We don't fear watch people business while we have our own matters to deal with. So body I talk about Barbados and the Republic and Ray. Watch where watch people. We can't even afford to pay the security forces on the island. Don't watch Barbados. Them know them I get their money from. Them know the issues that them a face and how they plan to tackle them. We have to do the same as a nation, as a people. Major revelation from the UK. Talk to me in the comment section. You know the settings, and for those who don't, you man now move settings fam, and now we don't need no ladder. And my sentiments for you and yours. Well, first and foremost, if you're new to the channel, just a pass through, but you like the reason, and of course you like the point of view, well, I'm suggesting to you that you click the subscribe icon, then the bell icon, and of course put it on all. And this is how you know you'll be notified of all fresh content as soon as fresh content is uploaded and made available for you right here upon the platform. The like icon is also in close proximity to the share icon. Drop a like and bust a share. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell them sister and them brother them to check out the channel, check out the reasoning, join the discussion. You know the settings, you know what I mean? And until the reason again, want to stay tuned.